Errol. This is a bit of history on the road car. First of all, looking for that. That's a buckler body, which my brother put a roof on, and it got sold to somebody from our record around 1964, and I've lost touch with it. My brother would like to get it back. So the Mark 6 was bought in 1965, and after a few years I ran into the same problem as Tim. Young guys come along and drove it quicker. And the other problem was I sat as a sheep for years while we were building sakers and such like. So it's now back at the stage where it can be driven. I grew up learning to drive with a Ford 10, so these started out with Ford 10 running gear, so I'm sort of staying with the brand. So the first Mallock was built in 1958, and Jack Oakley heard about them, would have been about 63, and he got plans and bits and pieces from Arthur Mallock and started building the Mark 4s in his garage in Oakley's Motel, top of Fuller Street, which is now a dental surgery. It was a single car garage, and I visited him there a few times with Norrie Hogan, who went on to build a few chassis later on. The Mark 4 ended up in poor condition on the side of the road. So we got hold of it, rebuilt it, repainted it with the same dark blue, had a 1650 engine in it, which made it go quite a bit better than this. It could lift the front wheels on takeoff on quarter-mile sprints, 8-mile sprints at Port Road. This one's struggling. So this was originally built in 1966 by Jack and ended up in Wanganui. I eventually bought it. We have the plans for it and for the Mark 10. So we did eventually rebuild the chassis after it got bent on that front left corner a few times, and the whole chassis sort of ended twisted. So Gavin has gone off to the States. He was over there for a while trying to build sakers, couldn't get the finance together to get a factory running. Brian, you may remember the red saker that we tested on the tip road at Granada. So the difference between the Mark 4 and the Mark 6 is that these go inside on the Mark 4. We've also changed the crossover front axles off the Ford 10 to a much stronger tube construction. Same with the rotating arms, which started to bend, so that's why I've put the extra piece on it. We also built in the ability to adjust the front end of that tube. If you look carefully at it later, you see we've got the rose joints top and the bottom, so we can get around here. So it's running a pre-crossflow Cortina motor and Cortina gearbox, Cortina axle. We've shortened down passenger slide so you can put in a end length axle. So it gives you an offset to move the weight across and balance it all up. Yeah, we originally had wide seal wheels, 8-inch at the front, 10-inch at the back. We used to use Formula Atlantic tyres. These days we try and steal them off the sports racing car guys.
It's all about that. That was the money.
Yeah. So these are probably, what did you reckon they were, about
I reckon
8 years old?
I reckon they're 11 years old.
Which is still better than the Hoosiers that we had on it. I got Johnny Mines to try it up at Mansfield, and he came in and said, no, get rid of those tyres.
I'll sort it out. So.
I was finding them quite slippery. Another sneaky thing is that the front of the chassis is about an inch lower than the back of it. So it gives a little bit of aero effect. Tim would laugh at it. If you look at the aero stuff on this thing, it's totally different. Huge difference. The crossover front axles, of course, gave quite a good advantage in the day, but not much anymore. Yeah, the reason we got rid of the original 410 front axle was that the kingpins started flopping around in the holes.
Really good bushes from the
Yeah. Oh, we put in a couple of sets of bushes, but it never lasted. It's a Ford 1500 pre-crossfade, Checo fitted the exhausts for me, high compression head, Titan 5-port dry sump pump, 40 or 42 DCOE Webers. So Gavin and myself raced it and hill climbed it from the mid-80s to mid-2000s in sports car racing. So I need another younger driver to keep it going reasonably quickly. So it does a standing quarter in about 14 seconds, flying quarter in about 8 seconds. Lap times at Mansfield are about 1:21 with Gavin driving. And he was about 4 seconds a lap slower than the top sports cars at Mansfield. Sorry, at Taupo. But it does stay up with the historic Formula 4s and the top sports cars.
Junior European version of that stuff.
So eventually Gavin bought a quicker car called the Rhubarb, and then he sold it off to the States, and people over there started wanting copies of it. So we started building Seikers for them, and that's when he went over to try and set up a factory for them. But as I said, we've got the Mark 6, Mark 10 plans if anybody decides they want to get Tara or Tim can help with the later models. Yeah.
Is the Mark 10 two-seater? Is that a wide chassis one?
These you can do in narrow or wide. I suspect the Mark 10 is the wider one, yeah. I was having to Murray Hogan here tonight. I've seen several of the chassis, but hard to get them out. Have any questions on that?
Is the Mark 10 independent or has it got a?
Yeah. Yes, wishbone front.
Why are they all set? Why is the driver exit from the engine phone place? Is that like,
Or you have to widen the whole chassis to get the driver in.
was there a problem with building a wider cab? Was it better to have it skinny at the front? Or?
It's to get to balance out.
Yeah.
because the weight goes across the diagonal, they corner way up. If you look at the little phrases and things with the engines in the middle, you can never really corner that upright unless there's something on some natural weight happening on the left rear corner. Yeah,
But this one, you can't do the corner weights quite easily.
it's amazing. You wouldn't think so, would you? But you think that opposite.
It seems like you're saying, keeping out your own corner.
Yeah.
You're at this corner, and you just have to do this. Like, at
As
least,
long as the chassis is stiff, you're okay.
Yeah.
that would make them so successful in the way they stuck with it.
Those, yeah, well, it's
Whereas it's like everything in board, your inside.
so the engine's just got further and further and further back. And the further back they can get the engine, the faster they will. They always stuck with the solid axle. If you ever read the Trailing Arm Magic after writing about that, it's really impressive. They sort of went from a parallel four link through to a completely asymmetric thing like that. And why he did it. So it was always his thing. He's always said there was so many more, apart from the inspire weight, which you deal with, there's so many more advantages to running a light axle than an independent rear.
Gangsters use a lot of axle.
Yep.
For a reason.
Yep.
But some of the newer mounts are running the D on it, isn't
Same sort of thing. Same concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, people do try and put independent rears and wheels and things on them, but yeah. They were built for a solid axle.
Mm.
It was an amazing one, but a couple of years ago, where they put a D on with the tube itself instead of being a dirty D on tube.
It's face right there.
Yeah, yeah. So, sort of gangrene. So, all the others didn't want to put a young line in it. All sorts of stuff.
Well, thanks so much for that, Errol. We appreciate your talk on that as well, and thanks Tim for your one there. If anyone's got any questions for those two gentlemen, do feel free to have a chat to them over the supper.